Why do people hate Marathon? Well, it's a pretty loaded question for a game that hasn't even released yet, but with Saturday's gameplay reveal stream now behind us, a lot of people are giving their thoughts and opinions about the game. Now, 99% of these people haven't played the game, so can't really give a full overview of how the game feels to them personally. They're just like me, giving their thoughts and opinions based on what they have seen from Bungie's marketing of the game. And that's what we're mainly going to be talking about here today. We're going to be going over what people have said about the game from first-hand experience, and also just talking about what we've seen from Bungie's marketing, and answering, or trying to answer, the question of why people hate Marathon. So let's just jump straight in. Obviously, Bungie had their gameplay reveal live stream this past Saturday, and if you're used to how Bungie does their live streams in past Destiny content, it's normally a mixture of dev interview plus a little bit of gameplay sprinkled in to kind of showcase what's going on. Now, if you aren't an active Destiny 2 player and don't know what a Bungie live stream normally entails, you are most likely expecting from a gameplay live stream to see primarily a lot more gameplay. That being said, the gameplay that was shown was good. It gave you a first glimpse at actual gameplay, which is the first time we've ever seen gameplay. I think the first time that we heard about Marathon was in a PlayStation live stream that happened, I believe, back in 2023. So seeing gameplay for the first time was great. The first thing that people started to hate on, though, was, I believe, the art style of the game and how it actually looked. Obviously, you have buildings, and the main aesthetic is a lot blockier than I think people were expecting. Obviously, with the artwork that we've seen, we've of course seen these blocky buildings and stuff, and the character designs, but I don't think people were expecting the kind of art style. The only way I can explain it is similar to Risk of Rain, where it's kind of cartoony in a way. I think many people were expecting a more realistic looking approach, and also if you've seen what games look like when they're still in active development and don't have textures and stuff on it, that's what most of the buildings and stuff kind of look like, but they have like a bright neon like paint splattered on them as well, which is definitely a unique art style for the genre of extraction shooter. If you look at other extraction shooters like Escape from Tarkov and stuff like that, their art style is very much like a realistic like simulation of life. So like if you see a tree, it's going to look like a tree normally would. If you see a building, it's going to look like how a building would. I'm kind of happy that they've gone with this unique art style for this game. It's a lot more visually interesting for my eyeballs rather than staring at what I would normally stare outside of my window. So I personally like the art style, but this is obviously just complete personal preference. And if you don't like the art style, that's completely your opinion and you're allowed to have that. But saying that you want this game to fail because of that doesn't really make sense to me, especially when you haven't even played the game. I haven't even played the game, so I'm just saying what I'm feeling. But yeah, visually, I like the game, and we'll see what goes from there. I feel like also an art style can be ignored if a game is good enough. Things like Marvel Rivals has a unique art style, and people enjoy the heck out of that game, even though it looks very much different compared to other hero-based shooters. So I feel like once people get their hands on the game, stuff like art style and stuff will kind of fade to the background as long as the game itself is good. But one of the other major complaints was that this game is just an extraction shooter from what we've seen. Obviously, developers have talked about in-depth character customization in terms of like cores and implants, as well as different attachments that augment your abilities, as well as the game having an in-depth story and secrets. But during that gameplay showcase, we didn't see any of that. We didn't see how these augmentations change how characters play. All we saw was a stereotypical hero-style shooter that is now an extraction shooter. So nothing was really shown to make Marathon stand out to people who weren't already interested, and I feel like this was a major flop on Bungie's part for this gameplay showcase. When gameplay of a game is first shown, you mainly want to be showing what makes your game unique, and I feel like Marathon definitely did not do that successfully, other than showing off its unique art style and showing off Bungie's typical very good gunplay and feel. Just from the gameplay, you're able to see that gunplay, if you play Destiny, looks very similar, and you can definitely be assured that because it's made by Bungie, the gunplay is going to be good. These were just kind of things that you went into the gameplay showcase already kind of knowing, so having these secrets be shown or these character customization options having been shown more in depth, I feel like would have helped Marathon quite a lot. Alongside this, another thing that has taken up people's minds with hatred is the fact that this game is a premium game. That's the way they refer to it. I don't think you're going to be spending like £70 or £80 for this game, but I feel like it's mainly going to be around like the £40 probably price range, and a lot of people are not happy about that. When people nowadays see a PvP centric game, they think that it's going to be free to play, which is of no fault of their own, because many games like this are free to play with a whole load of microtransactions within it. Now, obviously, Destiny does have a free to play option, but that game isn't free to play. And I personally did not go into this gameplay showcase expecting Marathon to be free to play. Obviously, though, if you're not an active Destiny player, you're expecting these styles of games to be free to play, which I think shocked a lot of people. And especially with what was shown, there wasn't much to indicate that this would be much more than what you would expect from a free-to-play style game. So I feel like this is going to be something that Bungie is definitely going to have to tackle head on and kind of get out of the way sooner rather than later with what the price is. And I feel like once people get access to an open beta, they might start to understand why this game is a premium game and not a full-priced game. Other than that, there's not really much else I can say, because I haven't played the game. A lot of other people who have played it have said that the game feels great, and obviously there are things that they want to see changed, and that every iteration of the game that they have played has received updates that they've asked for, and that's great. I feel like, though, once people get their hands on the game itself, it's going to be a lot easier for people to actually judge it. Now, of course, you're going to have people who just hate on the game because it's a Bungie game and they just like to hate on video games for some reason, and that's just the way the world is currently. But if you're on the fence, I would at least wait to see how you feel about the game after having played it. You can sign up for the closed alpha right now and hope to get access, and they have mentioned that there will be some form of open beta at the very least, so you can play it before it launches on September the 23rd. Me personally, once again, I'm very interested in playing the game. I'll save all my major critiques for the game until I have actually played it, but from what I'm just seeing, game looks fun and interesting, so I'm definitely going to give it a shot. One thing that I definitely do need to see from Marathon is what makes this game different from every other extraction shooter that's currently out there. What are these different augmentations and implants and cores and backpacks that I can give to my character to make them feel unique? What is this interesting story that is going to develop over the course of this game? Now, obviously, with this being an extraction shooter, I don't know how you're going to be able to tell a story without somebody coming and shooting you and stealing your loot, and then your story experience being somewhat ruined. That is going to be a very interesting challenge that I hope Bungie is able to nail, because I just don't currently see how a story can be placed within this game realistically. Alongside that, just show what's unique about it. Show me the secrets. Skyrim 9 is currently going insane with talking about how good the secrets are, but we haven't seen any of that, and I feel like that's going to be what mainly makes this game stand out. And I really hope that next time that we see gameplay, they show some of these secrets, they show some of this customization, and they show what will make Marathon stand out amongst the crowd of other extraction shooters that are either released right now or that are coming in the next couple of years. And yeah, that's basically it for why people hate this game. Hopefully it does well. I'm really hoping that it does well for the future of both this game as well as Destiny, because obviously if this game does really, really bad, we don't know what the situation of Bungie as a studio will be and what their future prospects could look like. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.